This Friday, the Weill Center will be transformed into a time machine, carrying audiences back to the golden age of surf, sunshine, and the unmistakable harmonies that defined an era. Jardine, founding member of the Beach Boys, is bringing the Pet Sounds Band to Sheboygan, promising a night of music that not only celebrates the past, but breathes new life into one of America's greatest legacies. For Jardine, the journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. Sitting down with Kevin Zimmermann of WHBL News, he opened up about the emotional weight of performing without Brian Wilson, whose genius shaped so much of the group's sound. Jardine described the atmosphere as subdued, yet deeply rewarding, with audiences across the country responding with gratitude and reverence. Every performance, he explained, feels like a tribute, not only to Brian, but to the timeless music that continues to unite generations. At the center of this tour is something particularly special, the Love You album, a project that Jardine and his bandmates hold close to their hearts. Helping him bring this vision to the stage is musical director Darian Sahanaja, once handpicked by Brian Wilson himself, along with a remarkable group of musicians who share in the mission of faithfully recreating the Beach Boys' sound. Among them is Jardine's own son, Matt Jardine, who now carries the responsibility of delivering Brian's falsetto parts. "He's my Brian Wilson," Jardine said proudly, a living continuation of the family spirit that has always been at the core of the Beach Boys. The conversation also drifted back to the early days. Long before the stadium tours, the chart-topping hits, and the worldwide fame, Jardine and Brian Wilson were simply classmates, kids with a shared love for music. From those school days in Hawthorne, California, a spark was lit. Jardine remembers suggesting they start a band, never imagining it would evolve into one of the most iconic groups in history. And yet, out of that casual idea came the Beach Boys, a band that forever changed the soundtrack of America. What made them stand apart was not just their surf-inspired themes, but their daring use of harmony. While many have claimed Brian's gift came from church music, Jardine set the record straight. The true influence was the four freshmen. Brian, he recalled, would dissect their vocal parts, play them on piano, and then teach the group how to reproduce them. For the young musicians, it was like attending a masterclass. From there, the harmonies grew more sophisticated, more daring, until the world would come to recognize them as some of the finest in popular music history. The Beach Boys weren't the only ones riding the surf wave. The 1960s brought an ocean of talent. Dick Dale, Jan and Dean, the Ventures, the Surfaris, all of them shaping the California sound. But what set the Beach Boys apart was their ability to marry music with story. Others played the riffs. The Beach Boys gave those riffs a voice. With lyrics about sun, surfboards, and summer freedom, they painted pictures of a lifestyle the whole world wanted to be part of. That lyrical touch, Jardine said, was the tide that lifted them above the rest. Of course, with great success came international recognition, even from their peers across the Atlantic. When Help Me Rhonda knocked the Beatles' Ticket to Ride off the top of the charts, it marked more than just a chart battle. It was proof that American harmony could hold its own against the British invasion. That rivalry, friendly yet fierce, pushed both bands to greater heights, inspiring works like Pet Sounds and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which remain two of the most influential albums ever recorded. But the magic of the Beach Boys wasn't confined to vinyl. Jardine fondly recalled the challenge of recreating their studio wizardry on stage. At Summerfest in Milwaukee in 1975, he remembered the astonishment of fans who witnessed the band faithfully reproducing their layered sound live, a feat few thought possible. Touring alongside Chicago, the Beach Boys proved that their harmonies weren't just studio tricks. They were the real deal. Now, decades later, Jardine carries that same determination into every Pet Sounds Band performance. Each musician is handpicked for their precision and passion. From the opening chords of California Girls, which Jardine calls their overture, to the final encore of timeless hits, the show is designed as both a tribute and a celebration. Fans can expect all the greats, Good Vibrations, Wouldn't It Be Nice, and countless others that still spark joy the moment they're heard. For Jardine, the stage is not only a place of work, but of renewal. Performing, he says, is like tapping into a fountain of youth. Singing those harmonies, feeling the audience respond, brings a kind of nourishment that keeps the spirit alive. We do it for ourselves, he admitted with a chuckle, but the truth is clear. The joy is shared. The audience feels it just as deeply as the performers, and together, they create something timeless. And while no new material will be featured, that choice is intentional. The focus, Jardine insists, is on Brian Wilson's legacy, on honoring the music that has already proven itself immortal. That means audiences can expect the classics, faithfully reproduced, carrying the same warmth and brilliance that made the Beach Boys a household name. As Jardine reflected, the band has always been a combination of influences: the Four Freshmen, the Four Seasons, and yet something entirely their own. "We're a fiver," he joked. "We added one more harmony." That extra voice, that extra layer, was the secret ingredient that turned surf rock into something transcendent. So when the lights dim at the Weill Center and the first familiar notes of California Girls fill the air, the audience won't just be attending a concert. They'll be stepping into a living history, guided by a man who stood at the very heart of it all. Al Jardine and the Pet Sounds Band aren't just revisiting the past. They're keeping it alive, note by note, harmony by harmony, reminding us all why the Beach Boys remain one of the greatest musical treasures the world has ever known.